What's up guys, it's Mike here with a banger of a video on how to get started step by step on using charts with TradingView for free. I know when you're just starting out it's overwhelming to think about having to chart and doing all this stuff on your own, but trust me, I've been where you are, you can do this. I'll tell you my secret tricks for being able to use the free version of TradingView and still make your chart look like mine. And we'll go through how to add indicators to your chart and be able to navigate yourselves around TradingView and use its powerful tools. By watching this video till the end, you'll become a TradingView expert at the low cost of smashing the like button. So let's get into it. All right, so the first step is to create an account. And even if you're planning on using TradingView for free and not pay for anything, I highly recommend still creating an account because that way all of your layouts and your settings and all your indicators and everything will stay the same every time you open it up, and you don't have to do this every single time. So first step, create an account. Using the link in the description below, you'll get $30 off your second yearly subscription or $10 off your second monthly subscription. And even if you're planning on using it for free, you might as well use the link in case you do decide to upgrade sometime in the future. You get free money off. The best way to make sure you get this offer to work is to use incognito mode or private browsing mode. I know some people have had some issues not using private browsing, so just use this for the sign up process, but afterwards you don't need to do this. So opening that link into an incognito window, we get to this page. So it tells you all the different packages that they have, and you can read through each one of these to see which one you want to get. And they have a 30-day free trial, so you might as well just sign up for one of the free trials. Personally, for me, I don't think you really need more than the pro version if you are going to upgrade to pro. They have monthly and yearly subscription plans, so you can pick whichever one you want to do. Their free version is pretty great in my opinion if you're just starting out and also using my sneaky tricks that we're going to get into later in the video. And the main differences between the packages for me are just being able to add more indicators and having more alerts. And other than that, the differences aren't too great for me. And if I was on a budget or just starting out, I would just start off with the basic, but definitely use the free 30-day trial. And in my opinion, the basic or pro version are probably plenty good for 99% of the people that are watching. And for this video, we're just going to sign up with a basic account just for being able to do this really quickly. So just sign up with a username, your email, and a password, and then they'll send you a link to activate. So just go to your email and activate the link. So now that we've signed up, it'll still present you with this screen, and you can choose to upgrade later down the road to a free 30-day trial. Let's just go to the homepage of TradingView, and this is kind of how it'll look every time you open up TradingView, and I personally hate this. So we're going to go to charts, and it will bring you to this screen. And the first thing we want to do is make sure that it's showing candlesticks. So luckily here we already are. In case it's not, you can look up here and it'll give you different options of what kind of chart you want to see, and it's on candles, so we're good. All right, so now let's get some indicators on this bare naked chart, and we're also going to change this to dark mode because I'm dark. First thing we want to do is add some indicators. The first one that I like to add is RSI, so Relative Strength Index. So just type in RSI and then click the first one, and now it has added RSI at the bottom. And now we want to make sure that it's RSI 14. It pretty much always will be, but this is the 14 time period. So it tells you that the length is 14. It uses the previous 14 candles to determine your RSI. And in this video, we're not going to explain what RSI does or what it shows you. We're just going to add the indicators in and set up our chart. And the next thing I like to add is moving average volume. So right now we already have volume showing with these bars at the bottom of our chart. Now we want to add a moving average. So you click the gear and it already has volume moving average with its color. You just check that off and it'll show it for you. So now it's showing the 20 period moving average volume. The next one I like to have is EMA. So we go into indicators, we can add EMA. So this is exponential moving average. And I like to have the 12 period and the 26 period. So if we add it twice, this counts as two indicators, and we can change it to the 12 and to the 26. But this counts as two indicators. And if you're on a free version, you have limited indicators that you can use. So for those that are using the free version, the best way to go about this is to use the multi-EMA. Just type in multi-EMA, click the first one, and it'll give you pretty much 5 different EMA lines. So the great thing about this EMA is you can go to the gear icon. You can remove all the other EMAs that you don't really want. So we're only going to keep 2 because that's what I like to have. So I like to have the 12 and the 26 period EMAs. And we're just going to leave the other ones because we pretty much disabled them. So press OK, and now we essentially have the 12 and the 26. So in the colors at the top, you can see wherever your mouse is, it'll show you what the value is of the EMA line. The last one that I really like to use is the pivot high-low, and this doesn't really provide any value from a technical analysis point of view, so it's not worth adding as an indicator if you're using the free version unless you really want to. What it does is it just labels the recent relative highs and lows. So we're going to search for pivot point highs and lows and add that to our chart. So it does it for at a relative strength of 10. You can mess around with this to put it to your liking, but I have it set it to 10. And we're just going to change how this looks so that way it's easier to read. We're just going to change that to white, that to black, and that to black as well. And let's change this to 20. Perfect. So now we have a chart that looks very similar to mine. Okay, so now we've created a wonderful piece of art, a nice, clean, simple, clutter-free chart. Let's make it a little bit more clutter-free so we can get rid of some of this stuff on the right side. Close some of this. You're going to continue getting ads if you're on the free version, so you're going to be stuck with this. It's a fairly clean chart and it's not too much going on where it's chaos and it's hard to figure out and create a plan. So I like to keep charts pretty simple. Okay, so now let's go through how we can use this beautiful chart. At the top left, we have a spot where we can change the time frame of our chart, where each candlestick represents whatever time frame we're on. So over here, we have all these different time frames, and if you want to add your own custom one, you can add it here. For example, I like to use a 2-minute sometimes, so I would add that. But that's only available for the paid versions, but honestly, having a 2-minute chart doesn't change anything, so you can get away without using it. One of the things I really like to have is these saved right at the top. So if you click the star button, it will add all of these time frames to the top, so it's quick and easy to access. So now you can see it has all of them labeled right up here, and we can quickly go back and forth between time frames if we want. And one of the important things that I like to do is copy and save this as a bookmark. So instead of having to go to tradingview.com and going through that weird kind of homepage, personally, I hate seeing that and I just want to quickly see my chart. So I bookmark this link at the top and save it as my bookmark. All right, first we're going to go through the drawing tools, which is right up here. And here we're able to draw a whole bunch of different trend lines, horizontal lines, vertical lines, whatever you really want. If you're drawing a wedge, if you're just drawing support and resistance lines like I do, I use a horizontal ray. And you can just click wherever you want to put it. So this is a great tool to be able to add drawings and really be able to put some stuff on your chart while you're doing your analysis. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is turn on the magnet feature. So this is really important personally for me because I'm lazy, and when I draw a line, I want it to go exactly to the top of the candle or to the real body of the candle. So you can see the first one that I drew, it's pretty much nowhere. It's not even aligned with anything, it's just kind of there, because I'm used to having the magnet on. So turn on the magnet, and whenever you're kind of putting any drawings on, it'll snap to the nearest point to your mouse. So it's a really great tool to have on. But you also may need to turn it off if you're trying to draw something and it's just snapping to things that you don't want it to. Now let's say that you have some weird drawings and you don't like all these lines that you have on here. You can just click on the garbage can. It will get rid of all of your drawings that you had. And it's perfect when there's too many things that you've drawn and you just want to get rid of it, start from a clean slate. And there's a lot of times where, hey, I actually wanted to keep that drawing, so you can just click Control Z and it will actually undo it for you. So just like any program, you can undo. And if you don't want to click Control Z, you can use the tools at the top here, which is for undo and redo. And let's say I was trying to pan through this drawing. You can just stay on the original tool, the top one, and you can move around. So you just grab and you can pan around. Now let's say you're trying to pan around and you have a whole bunch of drawings and you just accidentally keep moving all these lines that are here and you didn't want to do that. You can click the padlock button and this will lock all of your drawings. So even if you click on it, it won't actually move it. It'll pan the way you wanted it to. So it's just a great way if you have drawings that you don't want to mess around with, you can turn on the padlock. Personally, I don't use this, but it's a good tool to use. The next one is using the eye icon. So this will essentially hide your drawings. They're still there, but it just hides it so that way your chart looks clean, and it'll still be there. So it's kind of like the garbage tool, but the garbage tool gets rid of it. The eye tool just hides it. Now let's say that you've messed around with this chart and you're just kind of in some weird space, and it doesn't look right, you can just hover over the axis and double click, and it will reset the view for you and make it look more presentable. And then if you want to be able to manipulate it yourself, because they have a feature where it kind of fills your screen in the way that they've set as an automatic way to show the chart. Sometimes I don't like this, so I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. So you just click and drag and it zooms in, and now it's kind of in your control, so it won't override the way you've had it set up. But let's say, it doesn't look right, and you don't see the data well enough. That's where you can double click and it'll reset the view for you. Now let's say that you wanted to see this in full screen. So you didn't want to see all the other indicators that you may have here, like RSI. You can just double click anywhere in the space and it'll make the screen full, and you double click it again, it'll bring it back. You could do the same thing on the indicators. So on RSI, if we want to see it full screen, you can double click on the RSI and it'll make it full screen. Double click again and it'll bring it back. With TradingView, a lot of the times they have your time set as the universal time, and I personally don't like this, so I change it to whatever region I'm at, so that way when you're trading during the day, you know what time it is and you don't have to do some calculations because you're already trying to make some quick decisions. You don't want to have to convert time. Another great area is the watch list. So that's at the top right here, and it'll have all the stuff that you want to keep track of on a regular basis. So you can just add them, and you just type in the ticker or the stock name and it can get added here. It's a great way to keep track of stuff during the day. The next one is the alerts tab. I personally really like using this, where if there's certain criteria that I like to meet before entering a trade or exiting a trade, I would create an alert here. So you can get this alert to go off once it passes a certain price, or you can have it go off when RSI reaches 30, or whatever your criteria is. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can use this, and it's great. And it can also give you notifications on the phone app, which I personally love to use. And it will show up here, and you can change it or cancel it, whatever you want to do. Also, you can use your scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out and get more data on the left and right. So right now I'm scrolling down, and if you scroll up, it'll go the other way. So there's lots of ways to manipulate this, and personally, I love using this with a mouse. If I'm on a laptop, it's not as convenient. And the regular way to look for a new ticker is to click up here where it says Apple, and you can search for your own stock or cryptocurrency, Forex, whatever it is. So if you want to search up MindMed, you can write MindMed and it'll give you all the different names that have MindMed in it. Or you can type in the ticker itself and it will also find it that way. And we have Gann and Fibonacci tools that we can use to do, Fibonacci retracements, a whole bunch of different things that you can select from here. We can also use a drawing tool, so using like a brush, we can draw a trend or a line or whatever. And every time we draw anything, whether it's a line or a drawing, it'll give us this toolbar, and you can change the color, the line thickness, and a whole bunch of different things that are available here. And you can also click the padlock or the eye icon or remove it just from here for each individual thing that you select, instead of doing it for everything on your screen at the bottom left here. And you can also add text and a whole bunch of different shapes and a whole bunch of different patterns that are just kind of standardized and give you a nice shape and stuff like that for like head and shoulders. And then we also have predictions and measurement tools, so you can put your own kind of risk and reward scenarios, and it'll show your risk and reward right here, and you can put where your stop loss is, and you can get your ratios. It's just different tools that are really useful if you want to put all this stuff on your chart. And of course we got some icons, and you can use a ruler just to measure out how many days or bars are in between here and what the percentage move is. And there's also a whole bunch of shortcuts. So if you just look over and see Alt T, Alt H, there's a whole bunch of different ones that you can use, and it'll help to make things quicker. And you can hold shift and drag your mouse, and you'll be able to get percentages and moves. And if you want to scale out, scale in, you can hold control, and that'll kind of manipulate the chart like this, whereas just scrolling on its own is like this. If you hold shift and do that, it's like this. And you can log into the app on your phone, and it's linked to this. So if you do or manipulate a chart, add some lines on here, it'll show up on your phone as well. So it's a really great tool to add, when you're on the go, and I would recommend downloading that as well. All right, so now that you have your chart set up and you know how to use it, it's time to do some technical analysis. And subscribe to my channel. There's a whole bunch of free videos on YouTube in my technical analysis course, and I'll be coming up with more videos on my channel to show what these indicators mean and how I use them. So good luck.